Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Lamplight City. And in the last episode, we completed our case. Unfortunately, Miles made some bad decisions, had one too many in celebration, and got kicked out of the house. So it's sometime later. I assume Miles is still couch hopping, and we're here at the Prime Minister elections, guys. So let's see where this goes. Rules list.
I thought they were trying to encourage people to vote. With all these rules, it's a wonder anyone bothers. Yeah, at least you're already registered to vote. Having to go through that bureaucratic nightmare tonight would have just added insult to injury.
Amen.
An ad for a brothel. At least they seem to know their audience.
Registration book.
A list of fools who think their opinion will actually make a difference.
Whew, that's cynical. I just voted yesterday, as a matter of fact. And we got pamphlets for Atwood and Leroy. Or Leroy. Voting booth. Let's have a chat with this guy.
Excuse me.
Yes, how may I help you?
Could you remind me what the candidates stand for?
You mean to tell me you've come to vote without knowing who to vote for?
No, I've just had a lot on my mind.
Yeah.
Well, if you need a basic breakdown of each candidate's platform, there are some pamphlets on the table over there. Feel free to browse them at your leisure.
Right. Thank you. Where is everybody?
I'm not sure. I was told to expect large crowds, but so far we haven't had more than about 50 people in here. The polls have only been open for a couple of hours, though. I imagine things will pick up around 8 o'clock.
Or it could just be that everyone has come to their senses and isn't wasting their time.
I'll just go cast my ballot then.
Very good, Mr. Fordham.
Well, let's look at the Atwood pamphlet first. Re-elect Herbert Atwood. Citizens of New Bretagne know a vote for Atwood is a vote for progress. The truth of the matter is that steam technology is a necessity in our modern lives. Prime Minister Atwood vows to found etheric research and build a better, prosperous future for Vespuccia and its people. Don't be fooled by the lies and confusion of the ignorant masses. Bring Vespuccia into the future. That's a face you can trust, isn't it? What about Leroy? Citizens of New Bretagne, do you want to be replaced by a machine? Have you or someone you love been injured or killed by steam tech? Is it hard to understand how anyone could fall for the aethericity line? Then vote Hart Leroy, the man of the people. We find ourselves at a crossroads. Politicians and con artists are trying to play you for a fool. The true future of Vespuccia lies in the sweat of its workers. Don't fall for the lies and flights of fancy. Steam tech is not the solution. Hart Leroy will ensure that jobs are kept and strive to create even more of them. Keep your head out of the clouds and your feet on the ground. Vote Leroy. Oh, that's actually a nice little tagline there. Interesting.
Excuse me.
Yes, how may I help you?
Atwood seems quite fond of advancing steam tech, doesn't he?
That he does. He's promised to fund research of ethericity, as well as introduce more automated technology to increase production and boost Vespuccia's economy. If social progress and futurism are important to you, you'd be wise to vote for him.
Is that your official endorsement?
No, sir. Merely stating the facts.
What do you think about Leroy, then?
Leroy is really pushing this whole man of the people angle, isn't he?
Indeed. He wants to minimize the use of steam tech and ensure that people all have jobs. Leroy doesn't believe that ethericity exists, and instead wants to look into more practical energy sources. He also wants to prioritize the building of the bridge between Gascon and the Chum. I recommend taking those facts into consideration when making your choice in the booth.
I'll just go cast my ballot then.
Very good, Mr. Fordham.
Props to this guy for being equally enthused with both candidates. Guess we go to the voting booth. Oh, holy crap. Okay, looks like I'm voting again. Oh, for Atwood or Leroy. Now, oh man. Well, we've seen aethericity in action. We've seen all the people be affected. out of work because of automation. I think right now we've seen too many people affected negatively by aethericity. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I would personally have no problem with it, or at least Miles. I don't think Miles would. But, oh, this is probably going to affect the ending of the game, isn't it? Let's go with Leroy.
Well, that's taken care of. Thankfully, the Angel isn't a polling place, so we can still have a nice quiet evening.
Civic duty. Yes, indeed. Go vote if you haven't, guys. Oh man, he's still crashed out at,
What? My head is pounding. Damn withdrawal.
Actually, I think someone's knocking at the door.
Oh, right.
Let's see who it is.
Good afternoon, miss. If you're looking for Miss Upton, I'm afraid she's not in right now.
No, I've already spoken with Miss Upton. I'm looking for Mr. Miles Fordham.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm Miles Fordham. What can I do for you, Miss...
Mrs. Emily Morgan. I have a problem, you see. Miss Upton said you'd be able to help.
I suppose you'd better come in.
So he kind of turned into Sherlock Holmes.
So, what seems to be the trouble?
It's my brother, Ronan Lespay. He was murdered 4 nights ago outside a tavern in the Chum.
How unfortunate. Please, go on.
The police took his body to the mortuary and investigated the crime scene, but they're out of ideas. I've been down there at the station every day, but they don't seem to care enough to look into it any further. All they've been able to determine was that it wasn't a robbery, and that the clothes he was wearing weren't his. My brother was a good man, Mr. Fordham. He would never have willingly gone to that part of town. I need to know why he was murdered, and I want whoever did it to pay for it.
Very well, Mrs. Morgan. I'll take your case.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Fordham.
I just need to know where your brother was killed, and where I might be able to contact you.
He was found outside the Silent Raven. It's on Alewife Avenue, on the west side of the Chum. Here, take this. It's a photo of Ronan. It might help your investigation.
Clue added.
And if you need to speak with me, you can come to my husband's bakery. It's here in Worcester, at 15 Drummond Street.
Very good. I'll begin my investigation right away.
Thank you again, Mr. Fordham. You have no idea how much this means to me.
Well, this case has our names written all over it. Maybe it'll be good practice for finding the man who caused my death, eh?
Yeah, rub it in, Bill. See a newspaper here. Is it going to say who won? Ooh. Hart Leroy continues election celebration. After beating Herbert Atwood in a stunning upset, Hart Leroy has continued his victory tour, yesterday visiting the Thorbum Iron Works in Chumley. Workers cheered as the Prime Minister gave a rousing speech in which he outlined his plans upon taking office next month. Your jobs are safe, your livelihoods are safe. Steam Tech will not replace you. Leroy repeated several times throughout his address to thunderous applause. Leroy defeated Atwood in a stunning landslide with over 73% of the vote. Most voters cited his stance on preserving jobs and shunning steam technology as the deciding factor. Leroy's first order of business will be resuming construction of the Gascon-Chumley Bridge, creating several jobs. I don't know if we did the right call here, but I guess we'll find out. The Justice Killer strikes again. The latest victim of the serial murders is Burley Cause of Chumley. Cause was discovered in his apartment, killed by a single gunshot wound to the head. His neighbor, Ethel Williamson, reported a domestic dispute in which she heard the gunshot. Police arrived at the scene and found Cause, along with the word justice written in blood on the wall of his parlor. The Gazette has learned that each of the men found murdered previously in Chumley were found in the exact same situation, contradicting the police department's previous statement that the murders were unrelated. Due to the murderer's unusual displays at each crime scene, he has earned the name Justice Killer. As of this writing, there's been no established link between the victims. More on this story as it develops. So I'm wondering if that's the murder site that we sent the cop to distract him. Class action suit filed against Royal Maverick. The law firm of Usher and Price announces that a class action lawsuit has been filed against Royal Maverick on behalf of those killed in Foster Park during the Ligeia disaster in June of this year. Those who lost family members on June 24, 1844, as a direct result of the airship Ligeia crashing in the Foster Park are encouraged to contact the law firm at 72 Cadman Street in Worcester. Royal Maverick operates several transportation services, most notably transatlantic airship services, starting with the HMS Ligeia. The HMS Lenore, Ligeia's sister ship, is nearing completion. Usher and Price are alleging gross negligence on Royal Maverick's part due to the lack of proper maintenance which resulted in the disaster, causing 54 deaths on the ground, in addition to the 300 passengers on board. Jonas Usher claims Grand Dame's bizarre death ruled a murder. After a full investigation by the New Bretagne police, the death of Gascon Grand Dame Desiree Lathan has been ruled a murder. Chief of Police Reginald Snelling issued the following statement. Foul play was initially suspected, and our detectives determined that this was indeed the case. A suspect has been arrested and is awaiting trial. The suspect in question is Roger DeVay, an art professor at the University of New Bretagne. DeVay was recently named as Miss Lathan's beneficiary, a fact which concerned detectives on the case. Sure it did. DeVay allegedly left rags soaked in linseed oil underneath Lathan's bed. After several days, the oil caught fire, burning Miss Lathan alive as she slept. According to Snelling, the scene was intended to appear accidental, but thanks to the brilliant work of our finest detectives, the sordid truth was revealed.
Looks like that umbrella's gotten some good use. It was quite the rainstorm we had yesterday.
Where's Upton at?
What a handsome couple. Judging by the uncanny resemblance, I'd say these are Upton's parents. Some fool in a hat. I never understood the appeal of silhouette portraits. A lady silhouette. Pretty sure it just means the artist wasn't talented enough to draw her for real.
Ouchie.
Should have listened to your mother. You should have practiced. Mostly cookbooks. Yeah, at least you won't have to worry about starving while you're staying here.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not a very inspiring piece. Hell, I could probably paint it better. It looks pretty similar to the one in your bedroom. I like the color of this one better, though.
Is that why we're sleeping here, Bill?
Therein lies Upton's boudoir. As a matter of respect, the less said the better, I think.
Agreed. Okay, that's Upton's apartment, Silent Raven, and Morgan Bakery. Well, let's go ahead and head to the Raven first. Lovely place.
These advertisements are all at least 10 years out of date.
Oh, there's the outline of the body. That might be a clue.
What a mess. To think, in an instant, a man's life can be reduced to some scribbles on the filthy pavement.
Now's not the time to get poetic, Bill.
Can't observe any more of that.
It's an ad for whiskey. Or, perhaps, paint thinner. Sometimes it can be hard to tell the difference.
You get what you pay for.
Your mascot seems to be a raven with a glowing red eye. Is that meant to attract customers or to scare them off?
Could be a signal to certain people.
I suppose you could do worse, as far as bar names go.
It's the whole kind of D&D thing, that certain types of taverns with certain names attract, like, people from guilds or things of that nature.
This grog shop looks pretty rough, even by chum standards. Best keep a low profile while you're in here, Miles.
Will do.
Doesn't look like cleaning up is high on the list of priorities around here.
I've seen this guy in the coffee shop, I think.
They don't seem to have much variety in their beer selection.
Yeah, I like the knife in the chessboard.
Looks like that's where they keep the good stuff. Of course, around here, good is an extremely relative term.
Excuse me, barmaid?
Hi, what do you need?
You know a man named Ronan Lespay?
Nah, never heard of him.
He was killed here 4 nights ago. The man in this ferrotype.
Oh, that one. Well, I never saw him before that night, and I didn't talk to him. You with the police or something?
No, not at all. I'm just trying to help his sister find out what happened.
So are you done with the questions? Can I get you a drink or what?
Yeah, she's a shrewd businesswoman. You at least have to give her that.
Got her eyes on the prize.
Were you working on election night?
Pal, I'm here most every night.
So that's a yes, then?
Christ on a cracker, you ain't too bright, are you? Yes, I was here on election night.
There's no need to be rude about it, madam. Tell me what you know about the murder that took place outside on election night.
Listen, chum, do you know how busy we were that night? This was a polling place. We had gents coming in and out for hours, not to mention the regular clientele. I was up to my ass in drink orders and was running the shift all by myself. Had to break up God knows how many fights, too. So you'll excuse me if I didn't exactly notice something that happened out on the street.
Did you at least hear the gunshot?
No, I didn't. You try distinguishing a gunshot over a room full of rowdy voters. It ain't gonna happen.
What can you tell me about this place?
It's a bar. People come here to drink. Sometimes people drink too much, and then they're sick all over. I get the honor of cleaning up the mess.
Sounds like you're not too pleased with your job.
I never said that. There may be rough days, but there's a lot worse I could be doing. Here, I get a place to sleep and a bit to eat and a few coins in my pocket if the customers are pleased. And you are pleased, ain't you, sir?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course I am.
Good.
You mentioned regular clientele. Who are they?
Oh, we get plenty of regulars in here, too many to name.
Which of them were here on election night?
Let me think. I remember seeing 3 of the usual crowd. There was Darius, up to no good as always. Then there was Singin' Tom, but he wasn't around for too long. And how could I forget old Cormac? He'd have talked my ear off if I'd let him.
Sound like an interesting bunch of folks.
Indeed.
Where might I find the landlord?
You won't find him anywhere. He doesn't come around here more than once a month.
Well, let's go down the line of the potential witnesses or suspects.
What can you tell me about Darius?
Hey now, bucko. You've come in here asking me all these questions, but I ain't seen nothing from you. You want more information? You're gonna have to earn it.
Right. Give me a gin, then.
Coming right up.
Don't get carried away now, Miles.
There you are. 1 gin. That'll be 2 shillings.
There's 3. Now then, about Darius.
Now that man is trouble. I've had to throw him out a few times.
Why do you say he's trouble?
His mind's affected by the poppy seed. He can be gentle as a kitten or fly into a rage at a moment's notice. When he gets rowdy, he gets chucked.
I see. Any idea where I might be able to find him?
Don't know why you'd want to find him, but I hear he spends his day at a smokehouse nearby. I believe it's on Crisparkle Lane. Just look for the door with the oriental symbols above it.
And could you describe him to me?
He's a rough-looking sort, about 55 years old, has a scar on his left cheek, grayish hair, medium build.
Excellent. Thank you.
Go chasing the dragon.
Who is Singing Tom?
Ah, Tom. Not sure what his surname is, but he's in here about twice a week. We call him Singin' Tom because he leads the church choir.
Is that right? Which church?
Oh, I haven't a clue. Never really cared to ask.
Does he associate with any of the other regulars?
I've seen him talking with Darius a few times. They seem to be on friendly terms.
Knowing our luck, that choir will be for the Esoteric Order of Dagon.
Tell me about Cormac.
He's in here most every night. Doesn't speak to many people, just me. And a right chatterbox he is, too. Between you and me, Cormac stinks. I can understand why he doesn't keep much company.
He stinks?
Aye, he's a sewer worker. Spends all his day underground in the muck, so he always reeks of shit.
I see. Any idea where specifically he works?
I believe he's at the treatment station, over near the ferry terminal.
If this is going where I think it is, then I'm especially glad I can't smell anything anymore.
Lucky guy.
Have you worked here long?
13 years.
I see. Anything else you can tell me about yourself?
I ain't the friendly type.
Right. Understood.
No. Really?
Any thoughts on the election?
Nah, couldn't care less, really. Doesn't matter who's in charge. My life ain't getting any better.
Surely it'll get better with Leroy in office.
We'll see.
I appreciate you taking the time to chat.
Yeah.
Well, we do have quite a bit of people to talk to now, at least. Now let's look at the... Can we look at the photo? The photo is a young, unremarkable-looking man. Oh, fair enough. And we got 3 people to talk to. And it doesn't look like we can go anywhere else here in the bar, so... And nothing nearby. It's like wondering if we could, like, find the bullet in the wall or something of that nature. Alright. Where to first? I guess we would go to the Opium Den.
I wonder how many layers of advertisements you'd have to cut through before getting to the wall. Crisparkle Lane. Nothing crisp or sparkly about it.
Now, is this just trash or coal or what is that here?
You can't make heads or tails of it, but I'll bet you 10 crowns it doesn't say welcome.
Yes? What do you want?
Might I come in, please?
This is private property, and I don't know you, so no.
I'm looking for a man named Darius. I believe he may be inside.
Yeah, I don't know anybody with that name. So if that's all you wanted, get lost.
Yes, I'm not going to. Okay. Guess we might have to earn our way in here.
Nothing. Never mind.
Stop wasting my time.
Interesting. Well, maybe the water treatment station will be a little bit more pleasant.
So this is what it's come to, eh? Braving the stench of human waste in hopes of finding a lead? Just make sure you stay away from the edge.
Yeah, Upton would not be pleased.
Handy to know where you are. But why would anyone actually travel around the city this way?
So they wouldn't be discovered?
Some sort of water treatment device would be my guess. For all I know, it could just be a fancy boiler for tea. Another mysterious device. I was happier not knowing all this went on after I used the commode. Another mysterious machine. Who knew dealing with human waste involved so much technology?
Well, it's a lot better than using a shovel.
I hope those aren't full of what I think. While you could use a bath, I don't think this is the right place to take a dip.
Anything else? Nope.
Begging your pardon, sir.
What? Who are you? What are you doing down here?
My name's Miles Fordham, and I'm a private investigator. I'm looking for a sewer worker by the name of Cormac.
We needn't look no further. But what is this about?
I just have a few questions for you.
All right. Cormac will answer them, but don't dally for too long. It can be dangerous down here for anyone who's not trained as Cormac is.
Oh lord, he refers to himself in the third person.
You know a man named Ronan Lespay?
Cormac knows few men. People don't much like talking to a man who spends his days in the sewers. Can't really blame him for it. It's hard to get a stink off, so why bother even trying?
You didn't answer my question, though. Do you know Ronan Lespay or not?
Could you describe him? Cormac's got a better memory for faces than for names.
I have his portrait. Here, have a look.
Ah, yes. Cormac saw this fellow recently.
On election night?
That's right. He come into the bar, voted, went out. Looked drunk to Cormac, but then everyone at that place usually is.
Do you frequent a pub called the Silent Raven?
Yes. The Raven is where Cormac goes to forget about the day's work. The barmaid, Nicole, she's a good sort. We likes talking about the ponies down at the track. Nicky loves her some racing. She gives Cormac drinks for cheap in exchange for odd jobs. Nice to have your own personal sewer man, I suppose. She's really the only one Cormac talks to. There's a few others Cormac sees often, but Cormac hasn't spoken with them.
Cripes. This guy goes on, doesn't he? To be fair, you were warned.
It doesn't seem that bad right now.
Do you know anything about the murder that took place outside the Silent Raven on election night?
Murder? Ah, yes. The commotion out in the alleyway.
That's right. Did you see or hear anything?
It was a touch noisy that night, what with all the election stuff happening, but Cormac remembers the sound of the gun. One shot, and then shouting and hollering from the bar. A few people run outside to look at what happened, but Cormac just stayed in his seat and finished his whiskey.
So you didn't see the man who was shot, or who shot him?
No, keeps to himself, Cormac does. Makes life easier that way.
Could he be any more unhelpful? Actually, it's probably best not to find out.
Is it difficult being a sewer worker?
Difficult? Nah, it's a dream. Especially since they introduced all these steam tech treatments and purification whatsits. The only thing Cormac's got to do is check the little dial never goes into the red on old Belinda.
Belinda?
Aye, the purifier. She's a real special lady who's made Cormac's life so much brighter. Cormac makes sure to thank her each and every day.
Wonderful. We're talking to a lunatic.
Wasn't so easy a few years ago. Back then it was tapping on pipes all day.
Tapping on pipes?
To make sure they was flowing fine and not blocked. Cormac would take his little hammer and tap, tap, tap on the pipes to make sure they was ringing fine. You can imagine what that was like. Tap, tap, tap. Ring, ring, ring. All day, up and down, over and over. The tapping stopped, but the ringing never left. Still hears it to this day, Cormac does.
Yowza. Hopefully he's able to keep using that tech.
Do you have any opinions regarding the election?
Cormac hears lots of things about Atwood, but he's the one what's got this new machinery put into the sewer system. There's still a job for Cormac, so all that talk about being replaced by machines is just talk, for now. But Leroy says he wants to give the workers their fair chance, so Cormac can't argue with that. What about you?
I think Leroy will be a good prime minister.
Bah! They's all the same in the end. One way or another. No point worrying, says old Cormac.
I'll let you return to your work.
Be mindful on your way out.
Thank you, Cormac. I don't think there's anything else for us down this way. I am curious about the errands that Nicole sent him on, though. Let's go see if we can have a chat with her about those things.
She doesn't seem the type for idle chat. Best wait until you've got something to ask her.
Oh. Never mind then. Okay, well, let's head to Morgan Bakery then.
All right, Mr. Chavez. The cake and muffins come to a total of 6 crowns, 10 shillings.
There you are, Mrs. Morgan. And thank you again. Barbara is going to love this.
My pleasure. Enjoy.
Pardon me, sir.
I'm sure Barbara will enjoy them, the cow. Ah, Mr. Fordham. Welcome.
Thank you, Mrs. Morgan.
I was kind of backhanded. Okay.
Those look nice, but given the choice, I'll always side with pie over cake.
Depends on the pie.
A bunch of assorted baking products. Don't waste your time with those, Miles. We've got a murder to solve.
I don't discriminate when it comes to pastries. I try not to, at least. Teas. Ooh.
The stuff in that day-old box doesn't look half bad. More like 3/4 bad. Well, I never had much of a sweet tooth, but even I'd consider buying some of this stuff. You know, if I were still alive. Minor detail, I know.
And we got a door to an office.
A very wise man once told me, never go poking around the back rooms of bakeries. I think you'd do well to heed that advice.
Harvest Smith Confectioneer. Alright, guys. Well, I think we'll go ahead and end the episode here. When we get back, we will chat with Emily Morgan and see if we can find any more kind of connections to this case. Hope you all have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.